It's February 14th, 2026, a day that, for many, is usually filled with warmth, love, and the promise of spring just around the corner. Streets are often dotted with red and pink, couples exchange flowers, and families gather indoors to escape the usual winter chill. But this year, nature delivers a shock that no one saw coming. Instead of gentle snowflakes and cozy evenings, a fierce and relentless cold front sweeps across the land, transforming the familiar February landscape into something almost unrecognizable. High above the North Pole, a powerful weather event is unfolding. A rare, intense shift in the polar vortex, the likes of which meteorologists have only seen a handful of times in recorded history. This isn't your average winter cold snap. The temperatures are plummeting to record lows, and the wind cuts through even the thickest layers of clothing. Instead of easing, winter's grip is tightening, surprising scientists and forecasters worldwide. Weather centers are buzzing with activity as experts scramble to understand the full scope of what's happening. The cold we feel is just the final act of a much bigger story that starts miles above, in the stratosphere. Up there, powerful winds and shifting air currents set the stage for what we experience on the ground. Picture a river of frigid air spinning over the Arctic, the polar vortex. It's a vast, swirling system that usually keeps the coldest air locked far to the north, away from most of us. Normally, by February, this vortex weakens, allowing milder air to return. But this year, it's growing stronger, expanding its icy reach further south than anyone expected. Meteorologists are sounding alarms, calling this event unprecedented. Newsrooms across the globe are breaking into regular programming to update viewers on the rapidly changing situation. Cold air, usually trapped over the pole, is now spilling south, bringing dangerous temperatures to millions. Cities unaccustomed to such extremes are suddenly facing blizzard conditions and life-threatening wind chills. For North America and parts of Asia, this isn't just a scientific oddity, it's a real threat. Major cities are blanketed in snow, and daily routines are upended as people struggle to cope. People are bracing for bitter cold, even in places used to harsh winters. Grocery stores are crowded as families stock up on essentials, and communities rally together to help the most vulnerable. It's a reminder of the immense forces shaping our climate, and how quickly they can change. The landscape shifts overnight, and what was once familiar becomes a scene of icy extremes. This February's polar vortex is rewriting expectations for the season. Meteorological records are being shattered, and scientists are left searching for answers. It forces us to ask, what does this mean for our changing climate? Are these extreme events becoming more common, and what can we do to prepare for the future? Understanding this event is the first step to staying safe. Experts urge everyone to pay attention to warnings, prepare emergency kits, and check on neighbors. As the cold descends, we're left to doubt, and to wonder what the future holds. The world outside is transforming, and inside, families reflect on the power of nature and the importance of resilience. The story of this polar vortex is just beginning. Its effects will ripple through communities, economies, and scientific understanding for months, if not years to come. And its impact will be felt far beyond this February, reminding us all of the unpredictable and awe-inspiring power of our planet's atmosphere. The polar vortex sounds like something out of science fiction, a mysterious force swirling at the top of the world, but it's actually a real and powerful part of our planet's atmosphere, shaping the weather in ways you might not expect. The polar vortex is a massive area of low pressure and frigid air that spins high above the poles, like a giant icy hurricane. It's strongest in the northern hemisphere during winter, when the temperature difference between the Arctic and the mid-latitudes is at its peak. This swirling system acts as a kind of atmospheric barrier, keeping the coldest air trapped near the pole. Its job? To keep the coldest air locked in the Arctic, surrounded by a powerful jet stream, fence. The jet stream is a fast-moving river of air that circles the globe, and it helps contain the polar vortex. When the vortex is stable and strong, that fence holds firm, and winters tend to be milder for much of North America and Europe, with cold air staying put up north. But if the vortex weakens, wobbles, or shifts off-center, the jet stream can buckle and break down. That's when frigid Arctic air escapes, plunging southward and bringing dramatic cold snaps, blizzards, and even record-breaking low temperatures to places far from the pole. The vortex itself spins high in the stratosphere, about 30 kilometers, or nearly 20 miles above the ground, so you'll never see it on your local weather map or out your window. But its influence is enormous. By shaping the jet stream, the polar vortex helps steer storms, direct cold air outbreaks, and even influence weather patterns thousands of miles away. So when you hear polar vortex in the forecast, it's this powerful chain reaction at work. An invisible force setting off a cascade of weather events. A distant shift in the upper atmosphere, ending with you reaching for your warmest coat, bracing against the icy wind. That's the power and the mystery of the polar vortex. A hidden engine driving some of winter's wildest weather. This February, the polar vortex is defying expectations in dramatic fashion, surprising meteorologists and climate watchers alike. Normally, as sunlight returns to the Arctic after months of darkness, the vortex begins to weaken, like a spinning top gradually winding down, losing its energy as the days grow longer. But this year, something unusual is happening. Instead of slowing, the vortex is intensifying, with winds speeding up and the system growing more powerful, almost as if it's been given a sudden jolt of energy. Scientists compare it to a top that suddenly gets a burst of energy just as it should be stopping. An unexpected twist that has everyone paying close attention. This kind of late-season strength is rare, more typical of the deep freeze of January than the slow thaw of February. It's a sign that the atmosphere is behaving in ways we don't often see. The reason? Complex atmospheric waves rippling through the upper atmosphere have reinforced the vortex, making it not only stronger, but also more mobile and unpredictable than usual. When a robust vortex shifts off-center, it drags a mass of frigid air with it, setting the stage for dramatic weather changes far from the Arctic. Imagine tilting a bowl of icy water. The cold spills out, flooding everything in its path. That's what's happening in the atmosphere right now. A lobe of Arctic air is sliding southward, bringing a wave of extreme cold to millions of people, disrupting daily life and challenging infrastructure across vast regions. This unusual pattern is why forecasters are on high alert, tracking every shift and preparing communities for the unpredictable impacts of a polar vortex in overdrive. Meteorologists are calling this polar vortex event near unprecedented. Data from NOAA and European agencies show the vortex's strength is among the highest ever recorded for February. Climatologist Jennifer Francis notes the shock, a late winter vortex acting like mid-January in a world that's already warmer. The jet stream is now diving south, channeling Arctic air into populated regions. Severe cold snaps are all but certain. For scientists, this is a vital case study, an opportunity to learn more about our changing climate system. The consensus: this is a major atmospheric event with impacts that will be studied for years. For now, millions are bracing for the cold. The effects of this polar vortex aren't limited to the Arctic. In North America, cities like Chicago are preparing for wind chills as low as -24 degrees. Dangerous even for winter veterans. Infrastructure is strained, power grids, water pipes, and transportation all face major risks. Asia too is in the path, with models predicting late-season cold snaps and possible snow where spring was expected. The sudden temperature plunge is jarring, one day mild, the next, record cold. This rapid change is the result of the jet stream buckling, letting Arctic air pour south. It's a vivid example of how a distant stratospheric event can reshape daily life across continents. The world is feeling the chill. Extreme weather always sparks debate about climate change. Some scientists, like Jennifer Francis, argue that a warming Arctic destabilizes the polar vortex, making cold snaps more likely even as the planet warms. Others caution that the link isn't fully proven. Natural variability still plays a big role. Both sides agree. This February's event is a crucial data point. Each extreme, heatwave, flood, or polar vortex adds to our understanding. The real debate is about how climate change influences these complex patterns. This event will fuel research for years, helping us refine what we know. The climate is changing. The details are still unfolding. When the cold hits, safety comes first. Stay informed. Check local forecasts and pay attention to wind chill, which shows the real risk. Dress in layers, a moisture-wicking base, insulating middle, and windproof outer shell. Protect your head, hands, and feet. Mittens and hats are essential. Limit time outdoors and know the signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Numbness, pale skin, shivering, confusion. If you suspect cold-related illness, get to warmth and seek help immediately. Check on vulnerable neighbors, the elderly, children, and those with health issues. Make sure everyone has heat, food and supplies for a few days. Community support is vital during extreme cold. Preparation and vigilance save lives. Look out for one another. Together, we can weather the storm. Your home needs protection too. Insulate pipes in unheated areas. Frozen pipes can burst and cause costly damage. Seal drafts around windows and doors to keep the cold out and heating bills down. Let indoor taps drip slightly during prolonged cold to prevent freezing. Turn off and drain outdoor taps. Prepare for power outages. Have blankets, flashlights, batteries, and non-perishable food ready. If a pipe freezes, thaw it gently. Never use an open flame. A little preparation goes a long way when facing an Arctic blast. This polar vortex is more than a cold snap. It's a sign of a changing climate. Extreme weather is becoming more frequent and unpredictable, from heat waves to deep freezes. The late-season strength of this vortex shows our climate system is entering new territory. Weather weirding means more volatility, not just steady warming. We must adapt, build resilient infrastructure, improve emergency plans, and understand the science. This event is a wake-up call. Our relationship with the climate is more important than ever. As we endure this historic chill, we're witnessing profound change. Meeting that challenge is up to all of us.